In this video, we're going to take a quick look at how to view, modify, export, and print the reports generated by a CPS assessment. You can think of the Reports tab as the location that holds the results of all that your cadets do with CPS. So let's get started. Click on the Report Main tab and the Reports subtab. Notice that we can now see the results of any of the assessments that have ever been run using this CPS database file. By default, they will appear sorted with the most recent at the top. Each CPS assessment you perform, using prepared content, a verbal lesson, a student PACE test, anything at all that has received responses from the clickers, will create a pool of results that can be viewed in many different ways. In CPS, that pool of resulting data is called a session, and the different ways to look at that one session are called reports. For example, for this most recent session, I can create several different types of reports. Let's take a look at some now. Start by selecting a session to report on. I'm going to use the most recent session on my list. Click on the button labeled Generate and watch the new window titled CPS Reporting appear. Now this window is where you can choose which report to run and change a few things about the report before it is created. For now, however, let's just leave the options on the left as they are and select the first report titled Instructor Summary. This is a very common and useful report, so let's take a look at what it's going to show. Once the report is selected, click on the button labeled Preview. This report, like many of the reports in CPS, when previewed, will produce a new window titled Print Preview. But from here we can do more than just print. Now in this report, the information given is obviously for the benefit of the instructor, as it lists the cadet and what their total score was on this assessment. Other reports will give information in other ways. If you would like to print a report, you can do so from this window by simply clicking on the Print button, which has an icon that looks like a printer. From here, the report is sent to your default printer for the computer that you're using, and the printed report will look like what you see in this window. Now let's take a look at another feature of the Print Preview window, the ability to export reports to various other files. This means that you are able to take what you see in the Print Preview window and write a new file that contains that information. The way the new file displays the information depends on the type of file you choose to export it to. Let's click on the Output menu bar on the left. Here we see another Print button and buttons for RTF, or Rich Text Format File, PDF, which uses Adobe's Acrobat Reader, Formatted HTML, which can be displayed as a web page, Text File, and Excel Spreadsheet. When you would like to export any previewed file to any of these file types, simply click on the corresponding button and that file will be produced. Now let's take a look at some of the more commonly used types of reports and give you a sense of how to use them. Let's close this Print Preview window and return to the CPS Reporting window. From here, let's get a brief overview of some of these reports and what they will display for you. First, we'll take a look at the Instructor Summary report. The Instructor Summary lists the number of correct to attempted answers and the percentage of correctly answered questions for all cadets in the selected session. Next, let's look at the Question Report. The Question Report shows the answer distribution for each question, listing their question and answer options, a pointing finger indicating the correct answer, the name of every respondent, the answer selected by each respondent, the percentile of respondents per answer option, and a bar graph showing answer distribution. Now let's take a look at the Response Report. The Response Report shows the percentage of cadets who selected each answer choice with a pointing finger indicating the correct answer. This report shows data in an anonymous format so that you can evaluate the overall class performance without looking at individual cadet performance. Finally, let's look at the Study Guide with Class Summary. The Study Guide with Class Summary shows how each student performed on a test as an overall grade, as well as what specific questions he or she may have missed. This report is ideal for printing out, then cutting into strips of paper and giving back to the students so they can review their own performance. In this video, we took a quick look at how to view, modify, export, and print certain reports generated by a CPS assessment. When you are ready to continue, just proceed to the next video.